Okay guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you the upper body session I'm using at the moment to build my physique, get stronger and improve the way I look, whilst also making sure that it's specific to the sports and the goals that I've got when it comes to more sport specific goals. So yeah, let's dive straight into the session. So in today's video, I'll be showing you the specific session that I'm doing, why I'm doing it. And if you guys are like people who want to improve your physique, but you're also wanting to be functional and you've got like this toned aesthetic that you're going for, then today's going to be a really important video for you to watch. I'll talk you through why I'm doing movements, how to do the movements, and how to actually apply that into your own training so that you can get the most out of your own training too. And you're not just wasting your time watching this, but you're actually going to leave this video with knowledge to then be straight away implemented into your own training. So what we're going to do here now to start, I say always start off with something that you're weaker at. So let's say for me, back was a weakness. Then what I'd be doing is focusing on using or doing movements at the start that are going to prioritize my back. Because of course, when you start the session, you're going to be fresher, right? So if you're fresher, you can put more effort into that. So whatever area you feel like you need to develop the most, start with that. Best thing you can do. If your weakness was chest, then you start with that. And that's how you plan your sessions. Start with your weaknesses, make them stronger. And yeah, so we're starting off with a pull-up. Wide grip, definitely a weakness of mine. I'm not great at wide grip pull-ups. I'm a big believer in compound movements and just getting strong at the basics. Definitely my approach. You recruit a lot of different muscles when you're doing pull-ups. And yeah, this has been one I've managed to develop from actually starting off assisted, which I can put videos on to prove that, taking it to body weight and then of course weighted. So I'm gonna get a bit of a warm up going. We've done a few body weight. We'll do a few with 15 kilos, see how we're feeling, and then we'll go straight into our first working set. Okay, feels all right. I'm gonna go for 20 kilos, so add a 5 on. Right, feeling good. First working set about to go down. Pull-ups, this is like a vertical pull. So like I said, this is like an area I definitely wanna get stronger at. A vertical pull, you're just getting strong in that plane of motion. You could be doing other variations. If you're not quite strong enough to do a pull-up yet, do an assisted variation, or just change it completely. Do like a pull-down machine, a wide grip lat pull-down, a mag grip, a V-bar, whatever you've got, and just go through different variations. If your progress stalls and you plateau, then you can change it out to a different variation. Mix around with the tempo, the rep ranges, the amount of sets you're doing, the amount of volume. That's the way you're gonna break plateaus as well. But yeah, let's give this a go. I know my numbers from last week. I got 5 reps last week. So my rep range here is 5 to 8. So I've stuck on 20, same weight. Now I need to beat 5 reps. If I don't, I mean, it's quite late, making excuses already. I'll be disappointed, but let's see how we get on. Come on. Ah. 6.99. Take that. That was all right. Okay, about to go into set 2. Just done set 1. I feel okay. I'm to be honest with you, it's like I've been up since 5:30. It's now like 7:30 at night. I've had a busy day. I don't really want to be here. But when I start feeling like that, what I say to myself is, that's what's going to separate me from the old version of myself. Like the inputs I used to have back then, I probably wouldn't have showed up now, and that's why I used to be overweight. I used to have no confidence. I used to be the person that would always be at the back. I didn't want to be centre of attention, and I was holding myself back. I personally think I don't want to go back to being that person and the life that person had. I'd rather just do the session when I can't be bothered and get it done. But if you're someone who hasn't had a transformation yet and you're working towards it now, just think, when it gets hard, what do you need to do? If you quit, does it make more sense to quit and never get the result, or just to go, you know what, it's difficult, but I'm willing to push through it knowing the result I get as a byproduct will be well worth it? Think ahead, like think this future version of yourself, the person who's got the confidence, the person who's in good shape. You can walk down a beach, you look in the reflection and you love how you look, right? In order to achieve and become that person, start making decisions as if you were already that person. So when it gets difficult, think, well, what would the best version of myself do? Would they think, you know what, I'm not going to the gym, I'm going to skip it? Or would they be like, yeah, that's necessary. That's how I'm going to maintain a good physique. That's how I'm going to maintain the confidence I get with that. That's how I'm going to maintain that confidence when I'm at work, in relationships, etc. So ultimately, life isn't meant to be easy. And as a man, I think if you just, when things get difficult, give up, you almost just don't have that much value from what I've learned so far in my own journey, right? I feel like if you don't have a good physique and you don't have the confidence and you're not someone that's really well respected, you don't really get much out of life, right? You get out what you put in. So when it gets difficult, apply what I've said into your thinking and make decisions based on that, not just how you feel in the moment. Delayed gratification is what you get when you work hard and you don't expect anything. You just work hard knowing that in the future, your future self will thank you for it, right? You don't get the rewards right now. I'm not going to walk out the gym any bigger, but in years, months to come, years to come, I'll thank myself for being consistent. And if you found this helpful, I post content every day to help young, aspiring high performers who want to take control of their health and fitness. So if you found this helpful, drop me a follow. Two more. That was tough. Oh, I don't want to be here tonight, I feel so tired. But these are the ones that mean the most. I think when you're tired, it's like, yes, you might not want to be here right now, but if you're someone who rises to your excuses and you let your excuses dictate your actions based on your emotions every day, you won't get very far. I think you've got to be someone that understands that, look, I'm not always going to feel like I want to do something. I'm not always going to feel like I want to go to the gym, eat well. But if that's the case, becoming the version of yourself that you say you want to become can't be that important, because you'd understand that to become that person, you've got to make sacrifices. You can't have everything you want in life without putting in the work, right? That's why most people are out of shape. There's a crazy stat of like millionaires, how many there are in America in comparison to people in America with a six-pack. And that's because it's hard to have a six-pack and be in shape because people aren't willing to make the sacrifices. It's crazy how people are more addicted to things like food and anything that's going to give them that quick like dopamine hit, rather than real proper things that encourage self-development and get you to actually feel like proud of yourself and earn that sort of self-respect. But then saying that, it's also important to note, right, that there's people every single day in labs trying to make food like as addictive as possible. So it's like things like that is not easy. It just makes it challenging. Like you're fighting against people who for a living are trying to make food as addictive as possible to get you to keep buying it and keep consuming it. So you're fighting a losing battle. I just think if you don't buy the crap food, probably won't eat it, and eventually you'll almost build a habit where it's not on your lifestyle. If it's not on your lifestyle, you won't consume it. And guess what? Health is built based on lifestyle, right? I don't know, all the diseases that people get in the future starts at a young age. You don't just eat crap food and the next day you've got some horrible disease. It's based on what you've done consistent periods of time, extended periods of time, right? So I believe if you had a consequence straight away after eating terribly and drinking terribly, people would do it less because they know there's a consequence straight away. But because there's not, people are like, oh, I'll eat crap for 5 years because why not? They might get a bit overweight, they might not feel great, but they're probably not going to have anything too serious within that short span. But when you've done that for 10, 15, 20 years, when you then get the note saying you've got diabetes, you've got this, and it's because of X, Y, and Z, or why they think that, you'd be like, God, I regret that. But then them years are gone. So yeah, just a bit of food for thought. Okay, so with this one, we're doing a low incline dumbbell press. This is to bias the upper part of your chest. Now, this is one I feel like I'm quite strong at. For my size, I'm doing like 2 times my body weight, which is decent for an incline movement. It's quite a low incline. I started off with the back movement, the pull-ups, because I feel like it's definitely a weaker area than my chest. I feel that's always been a relatively strong area. So like I said, prioritise the things that need to be brought up the most and have more of a priority to you when you're freshest. So give these a go today, see how we get on. Like I said, I feel a bit tired, but sometimes you can't let your emotions and how you feel get too much in your head. Otherwise, that's going to impact your training, right? When you're finding it difficult, you're just going to keep saying, "Oh, I'm tired, I'm tired." You got to stack that mentality off and think, you know what, I might be tired, but I'm gonna give it a proper go and go out the gym proud and not come out the gym feeling I was tired, so I did crap. You know what I mean? So think about that. But 2 to 3 warm-up sets, just get the chest, the triceps, the shoulders ready for the movement and what we're going to do, and then yeah, we'll go into our top set. They feel quite heavy. 35. I do want to get PBs. Like, I'm literally telling myself that I'm tired, but I'm like, shut up, I need to get some PBs. I won't feel proud if I don't walk out the gym without a PB. I've already PB'd on the pull down, but pull-ups. Okay, let's just get 2 reps. Get a feel for some heavier weight. That didn't feel great, but I'm gonna chuck up these 35s. I'm just gonna bash them out as hard as I can. I did 37.5 on the weekend, but sometimes you've got to adjust it. Like, if you're not feeling like you're gonna maybe hit them sort of numbers, then don't be afraid to drop it down a bit, as long as it's not every week. Because if you were doing that really consistent, you're never progressing. You need to look at why you're so tired and why aren't you progressing. And if you're always tired, then you need to look at, right, how can you reduce that? Because ultimately you need to be progressing in the gym if your goal is to build a toned physique, right? You need to build muscle to build a toned physique. A toned physique requires you to build muscle and get lean enough to visibly see that muscle. And if you don't have enough muscle on you, then it's not going to be the case. You'll just be skinny or skinny fat. So yeah, you need to be progressing obviously over time. If you're struggling with that, you need to find what that reason is and fix it. And if it's because you're tired, you need to look at why you're tired so much and then try and resolve that issue, because otherwise you're always going to struggle with your progressing your health and your fitness. This is water, by the way, just filled up in an energy can, so I'm not drinking that much caffeine at night. Not at 8:30 anyway. 8 o'clock's acceptable, 8 max, but not 8:30. Okay, this is my body weight now, half in each hand. Let's get it then. Come on. Let's go, come on. Seven reps I got, pretty happy with that. I'm not like the biggest person, like you could look at other online coaches, definitely nowhere near the biggest, right? That's not my goal. In fact, I only do 2 strength sessions a week, the rest of it's running and boxing. But it's all relative to what you want to achieve. Like for me, I've just said I've been bigger than I am now before, I've been stronger than I am now before, but I didn't feel as good. Like if I was on the pads, I was more tired, I wasn't as sharp, I didn't feel as energized. When I was running, I felt heavy, sluggish, and yeah, I might have been a little bit stronger on certain lifts, but ultimately I didn't feel the way I wanted to feel, and I think that's really important. especially for a lot of people that follow me, it's not just about how you look, it's about how you feel. So don't just chase, well, obviously everyone's each of their own, right? You might just focus on aesthetics, that might be your goal, but chase how you feel as well, not just how you look. Focus on how you perform as well. That's what's going to impact, in my opinion, the quality of life. You might want to look good, and of course you will look good as a byproduct of focusing on performance and still focus on the key things you should be doing in the gym. But yeah, a lot of people when they start are just focused on how they look and soon realise that how you feel and how you perform is probably the best benefits you can get from the gym. So it's not all about strength. I'll address the elephant in the room. I'm not very big at all, but I feel good and I perform pretty good as well. So that's what matters. And yeah, if you like this type of content, just drop me a follow. I post daily. I help young, high aspiring men to transform their health and their fitness, not only to look good, but to perform as good as they look as well. So if you like it, drop me a follow. So I got 7 reps on my last set, which is decent. My rep range is 5 to 8. So even though I'm a bit fatigued from set 1, I should still be able to get 5 reps on this set. So I'm gonna give that a go, see if I can get 5. And if I do, I'll be buzzing. And then next week, we go again and we try and beat it. That's how we progress. Okay, right. Let's get the grip. Let's get going. Oh, I've got a mad itch on my leg. Had that in my last set. I keep getting itches. Putting me off. Right, let's go. We're beating 5. Come on. Yep. One more. Come on. The reps that count. Nice. Happy with that. 2 sets of 7. Whew. I'm happy with that. I feel that's a good. This is what I mean. Like sometimes, even if you feel tired or you're not 100%, you got more in you than you realise. Like, and also this is something I learned. I can't remember where I heard. I think it was a podcast, but no one at life is really running at like 100%. Like unless you're like an athlete who gets paid to do this. You're not running at 100%. It's like you come into the gym, you're tired from work. Whether you do a desk job or a manual job, you're tired in some capacity. I've done both. I tell a lie, I did labouring for 1 day, but I'll hold on to that. So if you're doing a manual job, you're tired physically. If you do like a desk job, you're whatever, dealing with numbers, accountancy, etc., then you're still going to be mentally drained, and that carries over physically. You just feel a bit shattered, right? But no one's running at 100%, so don't feel like you've got to be 100% to come in the gym. You've got to feel amazing. It's almost like, why should you feel amazing? You're not meant to necessarily come into the gym feeling like $1 million. Everyone's got things going on in life, but you just show up regardless. If you're at 60%, 70%, 80%, you show up, you get it done, and you go from there. That's how you progress. You don't leave the gym today bigger. It compounds. It's like when you put money in an index fund, or it compounds over time. Like the more you invest in yourself, the more you get as a return. It's like the more you have in an investment account, the more interest you get. It's like that. So the longer you do it for, the better results you're going to get. The key is most people give up too soon, and most people set their expectations too high as well. They just think that like if they haven't blown up in size or got shredded in 12 weeks after neglecting their body for months or years, that it's like, oh, I'm giving up, this gym's no good for me. It's like, if you've neglected your body for months and years, I think if you can get into shape, if you say you've neglected your body for 10 years and you get into shape, like really good shape in a year, that's such a good trade-off. Like the gym is really looking after you there if you can do that. So yeah, sometimes don't set your expectations too high. Don't go in thinking you're like owed anything. You're not owed anything at all. And there's always like this lag effect of like it's just the delayed gratification. Like I said, I won't go out the gym and be bigger tomorrow, but if I did this for months and months, your body adapts to the stimulus, like the things you do in the gym, right? So yeah, have a think about that. It's helpful, hopefully. If you're a young high performer, say you're in your 20s, 30s, whatever, if you're someone who like always says, I just don't have the time to train, I'm here to break it to you, you will never be in shape. And let me tell you why. Let's say you're in your 20s as an example, right? life's only ever going to get busier. Like, imagine you've got kids and then they've got clubs that they need to go to. You've got that, you need to look after them, right? They're your kid. And what about when your career improves and then you've got more responsibilities of work, the mortgage, whatever. You're always going to get busier as you get older. So I think if you can't get in shape now, you're never going to get into shape. If you always say you haven't got the time, if you can't learn how to prioritize the time now, then unfortunately I don't feel like you're ever going to be able to get in the shape that you want to, because now is going to be the easiest time to do it. So you can keep making excuses, and if you keep making excuses, you're never going to get the body and the energy levels and the confidence that you want. If you learn how to do it now and you get that habit in your 20s, your 30s, you're going to be able to carry that through with you for the rest of your life. You can either be the person who makes excuses and rises to them excuses and never ever manages to get the physique they want, the fitness they want, the confidence that they want, or you can be someone who goes, you know what, I do struggle with time, but I'm going to identify myself as someone who prioritises my health. I'm going to learn how to fit it into my schedule, and I'm going to make time for the things I value most. And my health, without it, you've got nothing, right? Let me know in the comments, which person are you going to be? First version or second? So now I'm going to do a horizontal row. This is a T-bar row, a bit different to the one I've been using in the other gym I normally train at, but brilliant. Like horizontal row, really good for your mid, your upper back, and it's an area that I'm trying to prioritise and get stronger at, so we need to try and get some progression here. Obviously take into consideration it is a different machine compared to the one at the other gym, so it might feel a bit different, but yeah, it does feel a bit different. Okay, feels okay, feel quite warm. I was doing 2 plates and I think a 10 kilo, and I did alright at the other gym I train at, so yeah, I'm gonna load it up and do one more warm up set, see how it feels, add like a 15 kilo, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm about to go into my top set on the T-bar row, so I'll talk about top set, back off set in a second. I'm using straps so that I don't lose my grip. However, I might take these off. These really I don't use figure eights, I use normal lifting straps, but I haven't brought them with me today, so I might struggle a bit in my grip. That's the whole purpose of using straps, but we'll soon see if I drop it. I feel like I may have overshot and got a bit heavier than what I should be doing here, but I don't know. I want to lift some heavy weights, so we'll soon find out. Let's try and lift a couple at least. Let's go. Mentality over anything. Yeah, definitely overshot there. Whew. That was too heavy. That was too heavy. And these things happen, like new gym, different equipment, overshot a bit, but it's what it is. I'll probably do 3 sets on this now just to sort of make up for that. I won't count it, I only got 4 reps, but yeah, I'll take this off and do 2 more sets. So if you're someone who wants a bit of tone physique, there's a couple of things you need to analyse. So first of all, are you someone who's carrying too much body fat, or are you someone who's skinny but doesn't have enough muscle mass? So a lot of people I speak to are carrying too much body fat first. The best thing you can do is go into a fat loss phase first, lose the body fat, so that when you then focus on building muscle, naturally when you give your body more calories than it needs to maintain its weight and your goal is to build muscle, you will have a little bit of excess body fat accumulation over that period. So what you don't want to do, and the mistake I see, is people start off trying to build muscle in a position where they're already quite, like they're carrying too much body fat for them and they find it uncomfortable. Now, what happens when you do that is that because you're going to gain additional body fat, even if you are in a lean surplus, you will gain a little bit. After a month or 2, you're thinking, oh, I need to cut, I need to lose body fat. And then you get into this cycle of bulk cut, bulk cut. I'm not a massive fan of bulking and cutting. That's not really how I do it. But if you are someone who's carrying too much body fat, I would recommend you start off focusing on losing body fat first. You get rid of that, and then you're in a position where you can go into a gaining phase for longer, where you're focused on building muscle for a longer period of time. When you can do that, you're going to set yourself up to be in a better position to build more muscle mass, because you can focus on that process in itself and that phase for a longer period of time. So if you found this helpful, I've actually built a guide specifically for men who want to build muscle and lose fat at the same time and they're not too sure on what to do. If you want that for free, comment the word tone below and I'll send that to your inbox. Okay, set 2 with the T-bar row. Yeah, went a little bit heavy before, struggled, but it's what it is. So this time, I'm gonna get as many reps as I can, at least 5. This is 2 plates, so 40 kilo plus the machine. Give it a good go, see what I can do. And yeah, let's grow my back. That's what I think about in every movement as well. Like, what am I trying to target? Like, if I know this movement's to target my back, like my mid and upper back, an area that's weak for me, it gives me more motivation to want to push, because I'm like, this is what's sort of the missing puzzle to getting the physique that I want, the areas that I find weak. This is that missing puzzle. So it gives me that additional push. So yeah, think about that. And if you don't know why you're doing an exercise, ask, I don't know, AI, or ask your coach if you're working with someone. The information's out there. So, okay, let's go. That was like 5.5 reps. I was losing my grip. That's why you get lifting straps. If you don't use lifting straps and you want some piece of kit to help you in the gym, I'd recommend lifting straps, because on any pulling movement, you want the set to fail because your back's so fatigued. So if you're doing any pull, whether it's vertical, horizontal, if you're trying to grow your back, you want the reason for the set to fail to be purely because the muscle that you're targeting on your back is so fatigued that it can't produce enough force to lift that weight from A to B, so it fails because the muscle's fatigued. You don't want it to be because your forearms are knackered or your grip's giving way. That's just like because your back might have 4 or 5 reps left in the tank, but your forearms don't. So remember what you're targeting with each exercise, the purpose behind it, and then that gives you better leverage to make better decisions then. So yeah, next time, Jacob, bring your straps, and yeah, you'll find that helpful. One piece of kit, if I could have it. No, if there's one piece of kit I'd recommend, it's straps. Chalk's good too, but that helps if you have really sweaty hands. So I've got some chalk on now. But your actual grip strength, you're probably not too bothered about. You're more focused on having a better back, right? So yeah, would recommend lifting straps. Okay, so me and Max had a good chat then, but we're about to go into set 3. We've had a bit longer rest than what was anticipated. So if I can get a bit of chalk to come out, we're gonna crack straight on. So yeah, because first set was under the rep range that I set, I think I only got 3 reps, flopped a bit. I'm gonna, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna then do a third set just so the total reps that I'm doing is a little bit higher. Otherwise the actual volume across the session, say for this movement, might be like 8 reps, and for me that's probably not enough. So yeah, I'm gonna do final set here, drop the weight a little bit, and then we've got one more movement. Let's see how we get on. Oh, that was tough. That was a tough set. I'm quite happy with that though. I feel like I'm only going to get like 3 reps on here, and I might learn a lesson today not to overshoot. But I really want to try 27.5. I don't really press overhead. Now, it's going to sound a bit silly. I probably should. But the reason I don't, so I do a lot of boxing, and my shoulders are like conditioned, quite relatively developed, I think, for what I need anyway, like relative to what it is that I'm trying to achieve. Like more isn't more in what I'm trying to do. Like if I just had bigger chest, bigger shoulders, it's not really just the goal. Like I said, how I perform is really important. And if I went on the pads and my shoulders grew loads and my back was, and I just feel really heavy. So it gets to a stage where you're trying to focus on strength. That's why my rep ranges are quite low, because I'm not really focused on putting size. It's more about being as strong as I can between 70 and 72 kilo really. At this stage of my life anyway, when I stop doing any boxing, I probably always do it for fitness, but when I stop doing it and it's not my main focus, maybe I will put a bit more muscle mass on and get a bit stronger. Like, don't get me wrong, I still building muscle mass, that's the goal. But yeah, it's got to be relative. Like, it's got to have a purpose behind it. I'm not coming to the gym just to get a bigger shoulder. I want to get a stronger shoulder. I know it's sort of interlinked, but I'm focused on how that allows me to perform. Simple things, like I'll do a single arm overhead press in a minute and show you. That's very much focused on stability as well, utilising my core, no back support, less stability, more functional. So yeah, it's not just about, like, bodybuilders is like, more stability means you can produce more force, lift more weight, get more gains. But my goal isn't really just about more stability, more force, because when I'm doing sports, running, boxing, whatever, you don't just like sit in this fixed position, loads of stability, isolate a muscle. So yeah, you have to a bit of both. Let's see if I can get a few on this. If the form's not great, then we've learned a lesson today. But I have done these recently. I think I got 4. We'll soon see. Four. I thought I'd get about that. It's all right. Okay. Second set, I do 25. I try and aim for 6. Again, trying to keep the rep ranges low. This is like strength for the shoulder, but like I said, I'm not really focused on putting too much size. So I do want to keep the rep ranges a bit lower. If I was focused on just putting on size and building a toned physique, and that was my goal, I would probably be doing higher rep ranges. So I might do a set at 8 to 12, 12 to 15, meaning that you want to basically pick a weight you can fail at. So you fail out with good form because the intensity is high. Your muscle physically can't produce enough force to lift that weight anymore from A to B. So you fail, right? I pick a weight I can do, say, let's say 8 to 12, for example, at least 8 reps with, no more than 12, I'm failing within that range. If I get 8 reps this week, because I'm at the bottom of the range, stay on the same weight. Next week, come in the gym, same weight, and try and do increase the amount of reps you can lift it for. When you then get to 12, which is the top of the rep range, the next week you go in, increase the weight, and the amount of reps that you can do will come back down. And then you repeat that cycle within each rep range, and that's how you're gonna progress. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it quite lower rep ranges. But if I was trying to put on size, build more muscle, and focus on, like I said, building a toned physique, I'd be doing higher rep ranges. So also, the reason you need to make sure you're training within the right movement patterns is because, and by the way, a video is coming out on that soon, it's because if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So if you're not pressing overhead vertically, you'll lose the ability to do that. Like if you're not hinging, you're not squatting, I'm gonna look a bit weird if I just stand up and start squatting and hinging, but if you're not hinging and squatting, you'll lose the ability to do that. So I value you guys more than what people think, but if I'm when I'm older, trying to lift up a shopping bag and I can't hinge or I can't squat down because I haven't trained that way, that's when you get injuries, or my back's gone or my legs are going. And if you're feeling like that in your 20s or 30s, imagine how you're gonna be in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and how that's gonna impact your quality of life. You wanna play with your kids, well, probably your grandkids at that age, in your 50s, or your kids in your 30s, whatever, and you're like, oh, dad or granddad can't do it because his back's hurting, or because he's got, I don't know, problem with his hip or whatever, because you haven't been training and you haven't been working their movement patterns. How does that affect your quality of life? It's because that's not happening to you now that you're not thinking it's urgent. It's like when we get toothache, right? If it aches a little bit, you're like, oh, I'll leave it. If it gets any worse, I might sort it out. As soon as it's killing and all you think about is your toothache, you're like, get me to a dentist, get it out, right? So sort of that like instant response, or that instant consequence. So yeah, think about that. If you're not training the movement pattern, you'll probably lose the ability to do it. So that's why it's important to have the right movement patterns in your training. A video on that coming next week. Set number 2, let's go. 5 reps. Yep. Oh my god, I've got a cramp in my calf. Go on then. feel alright with my physique at the moment. I see when you get like commit to putting on a bit of, trying to build muscle and eating a bit more calories, you want, like, it's natural you're going to gain a bit of body fat at the same time. Like, this isn't my leanest. You can see my bottom 2 abs aren't really visible, but then if I pull down a little layer of fat and knock off my mic and maybe break it, you can see it starts to come through a bit, saying this is where I store fat. So yeah, I feel in a good position, I'm performing well, I feel good, I'm eating a lot of food. So the goal is just get stronger. My legs are like, I'm training today, I'm not much of a pump, but my goal is to focus my legs. Injury prevention, the longer you can train, ultimately the better. That's what, like, the person who wins is the person who can train for the longest period of time without getting injured, right? Who trains properly because you're just in the game longer, you've got more skill in the game. So yeah, injury prevention stuff's important, and yeah, it's a bit different because you would have seen today that I've done 4 exercises, that's it, 4 exercises. I train 2 full body sessions a week. This is meant to be full body, but I'm literally so tight for time tonight, it's like 9:30. And I've got work to do, so I'm going to push the lower body parts to tomorrow, where I normally rest, but I'll get over it. But that's all I do, that, and then I do similar on another session. So when we spoke about vertical pull being the pull-ups, I change that to a different vertical pull variation. Horizontal pull being the T-bar row, I change that to a different horizontal pull. We did the incline dumbbell press, I'd probably do a different horizontal press, like a flat press, like a barbell. And then on the vertical press, I don't even do one in my other session. So that just shows, like, you haven't got to do loads of volume, you haven't got to be in the gym all the time to get in good shape. Well, I think I'm in decent shape. It's not what it's about. So it's about the quality. You work hard, you focus on the key fundamentals, and you build a decent physique. So this is how we're looking right now. Feeling pretty good. 71.5 kilo. So yeah, guys, just want to say thank you very much for watching the video. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Go in the description as well if you're interested in talking about coaching and how I can help you. I've actually got a free guide for men who want to learn how to tone their physique. If you go onto my Instagram below, which is Jacob Smith Coach, and you DM me the word tone, I'll send you over for free. Also, if you want to talk about coaching, I have got a few spaces available for the month of October. So go to the booking link, you can book, call me one-to-one, or just message me the word coaching on Instagram. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.